I stand in my marble-floored foyer as my 38-year-old son, Tyler, storms toward the door. When I gently suggest he consider rehab for his gambling addiction, he whirls around, spits directly in my face, and screams, "You filthy old hag! Mind your own business." I calmly wipe the saliva from my cheek with my silk handkerchief, saying nothing as Tyler slams the door. I stand motionless for a moment, then walk to my study and open my laptop. My name is Grace Hamilton, and at 65, I never imagined my own son would treat me with such contempt. But as I sit here in the study that my late husband Robert built for me 3 years ago, I realize this moment has been building for months. After Robert died, leaving me our successful construction company worth $12 million, I thought I was doing the right thing by helping Tyler. His gambling problem had gotten worse after losing his job at the bank, and I watched my brilliant son spiral into a pit of debt and desperation. So I stepped in the way mothers do. I paid his mortgage on that 4-bedroom house in Westchester. I covered his car payments on the BMW he insisted he needed to maintain his image. I handled his credit card bills that mounted to astronomical heights each month. Most importantly, I paid the tuition for my granddaughter Madison's private school. That precious 8-year-old girl deserved stability, even if her father could not provide it. Tyler's ex-wife Amanda had her own struggles with substances, so Madison spent most weekends with me anyway. I convinced myself I was protecting my family, keeping us together during difficult times. But tonight, as I open my laptop and navigate to my secure email account, I see something that makes my blood run cold. The threatening messages have been arriving for months now, each one more menacing than the last. Names like Big Eddie and Sal appear in the sender field, men I have never met but whose reputations I know all too well from newspaper crime sections. Mrs. Hamilton. The most recent email reads, "Your boy Tyler owes us $200,000. Since you've been making the payments, we figured you understand the situation. Next payment is due Friday, $10,000, same as always. Your son don't need to know we've been talking." I lean back in Robert's leather chair, the same one where he used to review blueprints and plan construction projects that built half the commercial buildings in our county. For 8 months, I have been paying these criminals $10,000 monthly, protecting Tyler from consequences he does not even know exist. I have transferred $80,000 of my own money to keep loan sharks from breaking my son's legs, or worse. Tyler has no idea how close he came to being found floating in the Hudson River. But here's what breaks my heart completely. I click over to Tyler's credit card account, the one I have access to because I make the payments. Yesterday, while I was meeting with my accountant about quarterly business taxes, Tyler charged $6,000 at 3 different Atlantic City casinos. The timestamps show he was gambling for 14 straight hours, losing money I do not even think he had. He has learned nothing. My sacrifice means nothing. Those threatening emails I receive weekly, the fear that keeps me awake at night wondering if dangerous men will show up at my door, the careful way I now check my rearview mirror when driving, all of it has been for a son who continues destroying himself and everyone around him. I reach for my phone and scroll through the text messages Tyler sent me last week. "Mom, I need another $5,000 for Madison's school trip to Washington, D.C. It was a lie, of course. Madison's school trip was already paid for through her tuition. I knew he was gambling again, but I sent the money anyway because hope dies hard in a mother's heart. The final message Tyler sent this afternoon, just 2 hours before he arrived and spat in my face, reads, "Can't wait for you to meet your maker like Dad did. At least then I won't have to beg for what's rightfully mine." I saved that message. Something told me I might need it later. I spend the next hour diving deep into financial records I have not checked in months, and what I discover makes me physically nauseated. My hands shake as I log into my business banking accounts for Hamilton Construction, the company Robert and I built together over 30 years of marriage. The numbers do not add up. They have not been adding up for 6 months. Withdrawals of $15,000 here, $22,000 there, all authorized with electronic signatures that supposedly came from me, but I never authorized these transactions. I never even knew about them until this moment. I call the bank's 24-hour customer service line, and after 20 minutes of security questions and transfers, I speak with a manager named Patricia Hendricks. She explains that Tyler Hamilton, listed as my power of attorney, has been making regular withdrawals using properly executed legal documents. I never gave my son power of attorney. I tell Patricia, my voice steady, despite the rage building in my chest. Mom, I'm looking at the documents right now. They were notarized by Franklin Stevens, attorney at law, and filed with our legal department 6 months ago. According to these papers, you requested that Tyler Hamilton be granted financial power of attorney due to increasing memory issues and early-stage dementia. I have never had memory issues. I have never been diagnosed with dementia. I have never met Franklin Stevens. Patricia emails me copies of the documents, and as I read them, I realize the scope of Tyler's betrayal. The signature looks like mine, but something feels wrong about it. The handwriting is too neat, too careful. When I write my name, I always make a small loop in the G of grace. This signature has no loop. But the most damning part is what I find next. Hidden in my deleted emails folder are messages between Tyler and my business manager, Carl Rodriguez, dating back 7 months. Tyler has been telling Carl that I am developing serious cognitive issues and often forget conversations we have had. Mom's been really struggling since Dad died, Tyler wrote to Carl. She repeats herself constantly and sometimes doesn't remember basic things. Yesterday, she asked me 3 times what day it was. I think she needs help managing her finances before she makes serious mistakes. Carl responded with sympathy and concern. I'm so sorry to hear about Grace's condition. Please let me know if there's anything I can do to help during this difficult transition. Tyler's next email was a masterpiece of manipulation. We've decided it would be best if I start handling some of Mom's financial decisions. She gets agitated when she can't remember things, and discussing money seems to make it worse. I have power of attorney documents being prepared. I never spoke to Tyler about being confused or forgetful. I never asked him to help with my finances. Every single word in these emails is a calculated lie designed to steal my money and destroy my reputation. But the worst discovery comes when I search my name in Tyler's email account, which I can access because he used my computer to set it up last year and never changed the saved password. What I find makes me want to vomit. Tyler has been communicating with Madison's school counselor, expressing concern about my mental health and its impact on Madison's well-being. He told the counselor that I have been saying strange things to Madison and that he worries about leaving his daughter alone with me. My mother keeps telling Madison that her grandfather is still alive and living in the house. Tyler wrote to the counselor. She sets a place for him at dinner and talks to his empty chair. Madison comes home confused and upset. I think it might be time to limit their visits until Mom gets professional help. I have never done any of these things. Robert died 3 years ago, and while I miss him terribly, I have never pretended he was still alive. Madison and I have wonderful visits where we bake cookies, work in the garden, and read books together. She has never seemed confused or upset about anything I have said or done. Tyler has been creating an entirely fictional version of me, a sick and deteriorating woman who poses a danger to herself and others. He has been building a case for my incompetency, laying groundwork to have me declared mentally unfit so he can take control of everything Robert and I worked our entire lives to build. The financial theft is devastating enough. Tyler has stolen nearly $300,000 from my business accounts over 6 months. but the character assassination feels like a deeper violation, an attack on my very identity and dignity. I find one more email that stops my heart completely. Tyler wrote to Amanda 3 weeks ago. The plan is working perfectly. Everyone believes Mom is losing it. Once I get her declared incompetent, we'll have access to everything. $12 million, Amanda. Think about what that means for Madison's future. We just need to be patient a little longer. Amanda responded, "Are you sure this is the right thing to do? Grace has always been good to Madison." Tyler's reply was ice cold. "Mom spat in my face tonight when I tried to talk sense into her. She's becoming hostile and unpredictable. We're doing this for Madison's safety and financial security. By Christmas, we'll be millionaires." But I did not spit in Tyler's face tonight. Tyler spat in mine. My son has twisted reality so completely that even he believes his own lies. I do not sleep that night. Instead, I sit in Robert's chair with a pot of coffee and begin the most important investigation of my life. If Tyler wants to play games with legal documents and false narratives, he picked the wrong woman to mess with. I did not help build a $12 million construction business by being naive or easily intimidated. First, I call my real attorney, David Brennan, who has handled my legal affairs for 15 years. David is shocked to learn about the forged power of attorney documents and immediately begins the process of having them declared invalid. He explains that Tyler has committed multiple felonies, including elder fraud, forgery, and identity theft. "Grace, this is serious criminal behavior." David tells me over the phone at 3 o'clock in the morning, "Your son could face 10 to 20 years in federal prison for what he's done." Then I make an even more disturbing discovery. Using my access to Tyler's email, I find a folder labeled Mom Videos that makes my skin crawl. Tyler has been secretly filming me during my most vulnerable moments over the past year, times when I was grieving Robert's death or feeling overwhelmed by loneliness. The videos are edited to make me appear confused and disoriented. In one clip, Tyler films me crying while looking at Robert's photograph, then edits out the context to make it seem like I am talking to the picture, as if Robert were still alive. Another video shows me searching through Robert's desk drawers, looking for his reading glasses, which Tyler edits to make it appear that I am confused about where I am. But the most manipulative video was taken last month during Madison's birthday party. Tyler filmed me giving Madison her grandmother's pearl necklace, a family heirloom I have been saving for her since she was born. But Tyler edited the video to remove the explanation I gave Madison about the necklace's history, making it appear that I randomly gave expensive jewelry to a child without understanding its value. These edited videos are stored in a folder labeled Competency Evidence, along with a detailed timeline Tyler created showing my supposed mental decline over the past year. He has documented every moment of normal human grief and emotion, then twisted those moments into evidence of dementia and mental instability. I find emails between Tyler and Franklin Stevens, the corrupt lawyer who notarized the forged power of attorney documents. They have been planning a competency hearing for next Tuesday, just 5 days away. Stevens has already filed preliminary paperwork with the probate court, requesting an emergency hearing to determine whether I am capable of managing my own affairs. Tyler's email to Stevens lays out their strategy. "We need to move quickly before Mom realizes what's happening. I've got video evidence of her confused behavior, statements from people who've witnessed her memory problems, and financial records showing she's been making questionable decisions. Once the court declares her incompetent, I'll have complete control as her guardian and power of attorney." Stevens responds, "I've reviewed your evidence, and it's compelling. Judge Morrison owes me several favors, so getting a favorable ruling shouldn't be difficult. Have you identified which facility you want to place her in?" This is when I discover the most heartbreaking part of Tyler's plan. He has already toured 3 nursing homes and put down deposits at 2 of them. He has been planning to have me committed to a locked memory care facility where I would have no control over my finances, my medical decisions, or even my ability to see Madison. The nursing home emails are clinical and cold. Tyler describes me as increasingly agitated and potentially dangerous to herself and others. He requests a room in the secure wing where patients cannot leave without staff permission. He specifically asks about visiting restrictions, explaining that supervised visits might be necessary initially until she adjusts to the new environment. Tyler was not just planning to steal my money, he was planning to steal my freedom, my dignity, and my relationship with my granddaughter. But his most damaging move was turning Amanda against me. I find a text message exchange between them from 2 weeks ago that breaks my heart into pieces. Tyler, Mom's been saying weird things to Madison again. She told her that dead people can come back as butterflies. Madison asked me if Grandpa Robert was watching her from inside a butterfly. It's getting worse. Amanda, that's actually kind of sweet, though. Kids like magical thinking. Tyler, it's not sweet, Amanda. It's confusing Madison and making her believe in things that aren't real. What happens when Madison starts expecting Grandpa to come back? We need to protect our daughter from Mom's mental problems. Amanda, you're right. Maybe Madison should stay with me more often. Tyler, once Mom is in the facility, Madison will understand that we did this to keep her safe. She'll thank us when she's older. But I remember that conversation with Madison about butterflies. She found a beautiful monarch butterfly in my garden and asked if people become angels when they die. I told her that some people believe spirits can visit us in many forms, including beautiful butterflies, and that when she saw something beautiful in nature, she could think of Grandpa Robert and remember how much he loved her. It was a gentle way to help her process grief, not evidence of mental illness. Tyler took that innocent moment and weaponized it against me. As dawn breaks outside my study window, I realize Tyler has been waging a silent war against me for months, systematically destroying my reputation, stealing my money, and planning to imprison me in a nursing home. Every kind gesture I made, every vulnerable moment I showed, every act of love and support became ammunition in his campaign to erase me from Madison's life and claim my fortune. But Tyler made one critical mistake. He underestimated his mother. I did not survive 65 years, build a multi-million-dollar business, and raise a family by being weak or helpless. Robert always said I was the strongest person he knew, and tomorrow, Tyler is going to find out exactly what that means. I reach for my phone and begin making calls. It is time to take my life back. By 9 o'clock the next morning, I have set everything in motion. My first call was to Detective Sarah Collins, a fraud specialist I met 2 years ago when our construction company was targeted by a check-washing scam. Sarah listened carefully as I explained Tyler's forgeries and theft, and she agreed to investigate immediately. Mrs. Hamilton, what your son has done qualifies as elder abuse under federal law, Sarah told me. We take these cases very seriously because they often involve organized criminal networks. My second call was to my bank, where I spent an hour with Patricia Hendricks documenting every fraudulent transaction Tyler made using forged documents. Patricia flagged Tyler's access to all my accounts and began the process of reversing the unauthorized withdrawals. But now comes the hard part. I need Tyler to confess, and I need his confession recorded as evidence. So I call him and do something that goes against every maternal instinct in my body. I lie. Tyler, sweetheart, I say when he answers his phone with a grunt. I've been thinking about what you said last night, and you're absolutely right. I have been struggling since your father died, and I think I do need help managing things. There is a long pause before Tyler responds, and I can hear the suspicion in his voice. What do you mean, Mom? I mean, I want to sign those papers you've been talking about, the power of attorney documents. I think it would be better if you handled my finances for a while. Tyler's tone changes immediately, becoming warm and caring in that manipulative way I now recognize. Oh, Mom, I'm so glad you're willing to get help. I know this is scary, but I promise I'll take good care of everything. Can you come over this morning? I have some documents I need you to look at, and we can discuss how to move forward. I'll be there in an hour, Tyler says, and I can hear the excitement in his voice. Mom, you're making the right decision. Everything is going to be so much better now. After I hang up, I spend 45 minutes setting up the recording equipment David Brennan provided. Tiny cameras are hidden in 3 locations around my living room, and my phone is configured to stream live audio to Detective Collins. Everything Tyler says will be preserved as evidence. When Tyler arrives, he is carrying a briefcase full of documents and wearing his most charming smile. He hugs me tightly and speaks in the gentle, patronizing tone people use with confused elderly relatives. How are you feeling today, Mom? Did you remember to take your medications? I am not taking any medications except a daily multivitamin, but I play along. I'm feeling a little foggy, honey. Maybe you could help me understand these financial papers. Tyler pulls out a folder thick with legal documents, including new power of attorney papers that would give him complete control over my life. Don't worry about understanding everything, Mom. The important thing is that you trust me to take care of you. Before I sign anything, I say carefully, can you help me understand what's been happening with my bank accounts? I've been getting some confusing statements. This is when Tyler makes his first critical mistake. Instead of pretending ignorance, he becomes defensive. Mom, that's exactly why we need to do this. You've been making some questionable financial decisions lately, and it's starting to affect your business. What kind of decisions? Well, like last month when you transferred $20,000 to that gambling website. You don't even remember doing it, do you? I never transferred any money to a gambling website. Tyler did that using my forged documents. But he is so deep in his own lies that he genuinely believes I am the one with memory problems. I don't remember that at all. I say truthfully. See? This is what I've been worried about. And then there were those strange checks you wrote to people we don't even know. Big Eddie Torino? Sal Marconi? Mom, these are dangerous people. Tyler has just confessed on camera that he knows about the loan sharks, but he is presenting it as evidence of my mental decline rather than his own gambling debts. Tyler, I say gently, can you help me understand who those people are? The names sound familiar, but I can't quite place them. This is when Tyler makes his second mistake. He sits forward eagerly, ready to explain how confused and helpless I have become. Mom, those are loan sharks. You've been sending them money for months, but you don't remember why. I think maybe you were trying to help someone, but you got confused about the details. Help someone? Who was I trying to help? Tyler pauses, realizing he is about to implicate himself, but he is so committed to the narrative of my mental decline that he pushes forward. I think you might have been trying to help me with some financial problems I was having. But Mom, you got confused and started dealing with dangerous people. That's why I've been so worried about you. Now Tyler is trying to make it seem like I voluntarily involved myself with loan sharks out of maternal concern, but then forgot about it due to dementia. The audacity is breathtaking. What kind of financial problems were you having, sweetheart? Just some temporary cash flow issues. Nothing serious. But Mom, the important thing is that you don't remember any of this clearly. That's why we need professional help managing your finances. I lean forward and look directly into Tyler's eyes. Tyler, I need you to be completely honest with me about something. Of course, Mom. What is it? The power of attorney documents you want me to sign today. Are those the same documents you had Franklin Stevens notarize 6 months ago using my forged signature? Tyler's face goes completely white. For a moment, he looks like he might vomit. Then his expression hardens, and I see the real Tyler emerge, the one who spat in my face last night. I don't know what you're talking about, Mom. You're confused again. Am I confused about the $300,000 you've stolen from my business accounts? Am I confused about the fake videos you made to use as evidence in next Tuesday's competency hearing? Am I confused about your plan to have me committed to a nursing home? Tyler stands up abruptly, knocking over his coffee cup. You crazy old witch. You've been spying on me. Tyler, I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to tell you. But Tyler is not listening. He is panicking, pacing around my living room like a caged animal. You can't prove anything. Everyone knows you've been losing your mind since Dad died. Tyler, sit down. No, you think you're so smart, but you have no idea what you've gotten yourself into. Those people you've been sending money to? They don't care that you're an old lady. When they find out you stopped the payments, they're going to come for you. This is Tyler's third and final mistake. He has just confessed that he put me in danger by borrowing money from violent criminals and using me as collateral without my knowledge or consent. Tyler, I say calmly, I need you to understand that everything you have said in the last 30 minutes has been recorded. Detective Sarah Collins has been listening to every word through a live audio feed. Tyler's face contorts with rage and disbelief. You set me up, your own son. You stole $300,000 from me, tried to have me declared mentally incompetent, and planned to imprison me in a nursing home. What did you think was going to happen? Tyler lunges toward me, and for a moment, I think he might actually strike me. But the front door opens, and Detective Collins walks in with 2 uniformed officers, Tyler Hamilton. Detective Collins says calmly, You're under arrest for elder fraud, forgery, identity theft, and making terroristic threats. As the officers handcuff Tyler, he screams threats and obscenities that I will not repeat. His final words, as they lead him to the police car, are, You'll regret this, you old witch. It'll make you pay for what you've done. I stand in my doorway watching my son being taken away, and I feel something I have not experienced in months: peace. For the first time since Robert died, I am truly safe in my own home. 2 days after Tyler's arrest, I am having breakfast when my phone rings. It is Amanda, Tyler's ex-wife, and she is hysterical. Grace, you have to help. They won't give Tyler bail unless someone pays $50,000. His lawyer says, You're the only one with enough money. I take a sip of my coffee before responding. Amanda, I'm not paying Tyler's bail. But he's Madison's father. She needs him. This is when I deliver the news that will change everything. Amanda, I need you to come over this morning. We have important matters to discuss regarding Madison's welfare. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the fact that you were fully involved in Tyler's scheme to defraud me and have me committed to a nursing home. The phone goes silent for nearly 30 seconds. When Amanda finally speaks, her voice is barely a whisper. Grace, I don't know what Tyler told you, but I never wanted to hurt you. Amanda, I have recordings of you and Tyler discussing how to speed up my mental decline so you could take control of my money and Madison's inheritance. I have text messages where you agreed to help manipulate Madison against me. I have emails where you planned to split $12 million between yourselves once I was locked away in a nursing home. Oh, God. Grace, please, I can explain. You can explain to Child Protective Services. I reported both you and Tyler yesterday for planning to use Madison's inheritance money for drugs and gambling. They'll be contacting you soon. Amanda starts crying, deep sobbing sounds that might have moved me a month ago, but not anymore. Grace, please don't take Madison away from me. She's all I have. Madison is not something you have, Amanda. She's a little girl who deserves parents who put her welfare above their own greed and addiction. I'll go to rehab. I'll do whatever you want. It's too late for promises, Amanda. I've already filed for emergency custody of Madison. This is the part that breaks my heart and fills me with determination at the same time. Tyler thought the thing he loved most was money, or the house, or the cars, or the prestige that wealth could buy. But I know my son better than he knows himself. The thing Tyler truly loves most in this world is his relationship with his daughter Madison. And that relationship has been built on lies and manipulation. When Amanda arrives at my house an hour later, she looks terrible. Her hands are shaking, her eyes are bloodshot, and she can barely form coherent sentences. This is not just emotional distress. This is withdrawal. Grace, please, I'm begging you. Don't take Madison away. Amanda, when was the last time you used drugs? She looks at the floor. Yesterday. I was upset about Tyler being arrested, and I made a mistake. What kind of drugs? Just some pills, nothing serious. It helps me cope with stress. I pull out my phone and play an audio recording that David Brennan's investigator obtained yesterday. It is Amanda's voice, talking to her drug dealer about buying OxyContin and fentanyl. That was recorded 3 days ago, Amanda. You weren't upset about Tyler's arrest yet. You were just buying drugs like you do every week. Amanda collapses into a chair and starts sobbing again. Grace, I know I have a problem, but I love Madison more than anything in the world. Do you love her more than OxyContin? More than fentanyl? More than the money you were planning to steal from her inheritance? Yes, of course I do. Then prove it. Check yourself into a residential treatment program today. Complete 90 days of inpatient rehabilitation. Submit to random drug testing for 1 full year. Attend parenting classes and family counseling sessions. Show me that you're willing to fight for your daughter instead of just making promises. Amanda looks up at me with desperate hope. And then I can have Madison back. And then we can discuss supervised visitation. Madison's custody will remain with me until you prove you can be a stable, drug-free parent. Where is she now? Can I at least see her? Madison is staying with my sister Eleanor in Pennsylvania. She's safe, she's attending a good school, and she's receiving counseling to help her understand why her father and mother put her in danger. What did you tell her about Tyler and me? This is the hardest part. I told her the truth, Amanda. Age appropriately, but honestly. Madison is 8 years old, not stupid. She knew something was wrong when you and Tyler kept telling her I was getting sick in my head. She knew something was wrong when Tyler promised her expensive things he couldn't afford. She knew something was wrong when you disappeared for days at a time and came back acting strange. She must hate us. She doesn't hate you. She's confused and hurt and scared. But Madison is a resilient little girl with a big heart. If you get clean and stay clean, if you learn to be the mother she deserves, there's still hope for your relationship with her. Amanda wipes her nose with the back of her hand. Grace, I need to tell you something. Tyler never told me the whole plan. He just said you were having memory problems and that he needed help protecting Madison's inheritance. I didn't know he was forging documents or stealing money. But you knew we were planning to have me committed. He said it would just be temporary, until you got better. Tyler told me you were becoming dangerous and that the doctors recommended residential care. And you believed him. I wanted to believe him. Grace. Tyler promised that if I helped him, he would take care of Madison's future. He said she would never have to worry about money for college or anything else. I was scared that my drug problem would leave her with nothing. So you decided to participate in stealing her grandmother's money to secure her future. Amanda looks ashamed. When you put it like that, it sounds horrible. It was horrible, Amanda. You and Tyler were planning to destroy the person who loves Madison most in this world, just so you could get access to money that isn't yours. Grace, I'm so sorry. I know that's not enough, but I am truly sorry. I study Amanda's face, looking for signs of genuine remorse versus manipulation. What I see is a broken young woman who got caught up in Tyler's schemes because her judgment was clouded by addiction and desperation. Amanda, I'm going to give you one chance to make this right. Not for Tyler, and not for me. For Madison. Tell me what to do. I hand her a business card for a residential treatment facility in Connecticut. This program has a 98% success rate for people who complete the full course. They have an opening today. I will pay for your treatment, and I will pay for your housing and expenses while you're in recovery. But if you leave the program early, or if you use drugs again after completing it, you will never see Madison again. Do you understand? Amanda takes the card with trembling hands. Grace, why are you helping me after everything we did to you? Because Madison needs at least one parent who is healthy and present in her life. Her father is going to prison for a very long time. You're her only hope for having a real family. What about you? Won't you be her family? I'm 65 years old, Amanda. I love Madison with all my heart, but she needs parents, not just a grandmother. If you get clean and prove you can be trusted, it'll help you rebuild your life and your relationship with your daughter. Amanda stands up and hugs me tightly. Thank you, Grace. I promise I won't let you down. Don't promise me anything, Amanda. Promise Madison, and then keep that promise every single day for the rest of your life. After Amanda leaves for the treatment center, I sit in my quiet house and think about Tyler. He is sitting in a jail cell right now, probably convinced that he is the victim in this situation. He has no idea that his greatest punishment is not the prison time he is facing or the money he will never see again. Tyler's greatest punishment is that he has lost the trust and love of the daughter who once thought he was a hero. And unlike money or houses or cars, trust and love cannot be stolen or forged or manipulated into existence. They have to be earned. 2 weeks later, I am in my garden with Madison when my phone rings. She has been staying with Eleanor in Pennsylvania, but we arranged for her to visit me for the weekend. Madison seems different now, quieter but also somehow more mature. The counseling sessions are helping her process everything that has happened. The caller ID shows a number I do not recognize, but something tells me to answer it. Mrs. Hamilton? This is Lieutenant Rodriguez from the Pennsylvania State Police. We have a situation involving your son, Tyler Hamilton. My blood turns cold. What kind of situation? Mom, your son made bail yesterday using money from an unknown source. He violated his restraining order and drove to your sister's address in Harrisburg. We believe he was attempting to make contact with his daughter. Is Madison safe? I ask, even though she is sitting right beside me, carefully watering my tomato plants. Yes, Mom. Your granddaughter is with you, correct? She called our emergency line when she saw her father climbing through her bedroom window at your sister's house around midnight last night. I look at Madison, who is pretending to focus on the garden while obviously listening to every word. Madison, sweetheart, can you tell me what happened last night? Madison sets down the watering can and looks at me with those serious 8-year-old eyes that have seen too much. Daddy came to Aunt Eleanor's house in the middle of the night. He was trying to get into my room through the window. He looked scary, Grandma Grace. His eyes were all red, and he was talking really fast. Lieutenant Rodriguez continues the story. Your granddaughter was very brave, Mrs. Hamilton. She immediately called 911 and hid in the bathroom until we arrived. We found Tyler Hamilton attempting to force entry into the residence. When we tried to arrest him, he claimed he was there to protect his daughter from a dangerous grandmother who was mentally unstable. Did he hurt anyone? No physical injuries, but he made several threatening statements about what he would do to you and your family if you didn't drop the charges against him. Mr. Hamilton also told our officers that he had powerful friends who would make sure you regretted crossing him. This is when I realized Tyler has completely lost touch with reality. The loan sharks he owes money to are not his friends, and they certainly are not going to help him intimidate me. If anything, Tyler's legal troubles have made him a liability to them. Lieutenant, what are the charges? Breaking and entering, violating a restraining order, attempted kidnapping, and making terroristic threats. Because this involved crossing state lines and violating federal bail conditions, the FBI is also involved now. Madison tugs on my sleeve. Grandma Grace, is Daddy going to jail for a long time? This is the moment I have been dreading. How do you explain to an 8-year-old that her father has become a dangerous criminal who tried to kidnap her? Madison, your daddy is very sick right now. He's making bad choices because he has problems with gambling and anger that he needs professional help to fix. The police arrested him because they want to keep you safe. Is it my fault? Did I do something wrong when I called the police? Oh, sweetheart, no. You did exactly the right thing. You were smart and brave, and you protected yourself. I am so proud of you. Lieutenant Rodriguez speaks again. Mrs. Hamilton, there's something else you should know. During the arrest, your son was carrying a bag containing zip ties, duct tape, and a handwritten note demanding that you transfer $5 million to a specific bank account within 24 hours, or you would never see your granddaughter again. The world seems to tilt sideways. Tyler was not just planning to take Madison for a visit. He was planning to kidnap her and hold her for ransom. Lieutenant, my son needs psychiatric evaluation. This behavior is not normal for him. We agree, Mom. Mr. Hamilton is currently undergoing mental health assessment at the county facility. The preliminary evaluation suggests he may be experiencing a complete psychological breakdown brought on by financial stress, substance abuse, and the realization that his criminal schemes have been exposed. After I hang up with Lieutenant Rodriguez, Madison and I sit quietly in the garden for a while. She picks up the watering can again and continues tending to the plants, but I can see her processing everything she has heard. Grandma Grace. Yes, sweetheart. Is Daddy ever going to be normal again? This is the hardest question anyone has ever asked me. I don't know, Madison. Sometimes when people have problems with drugs or gambling, it changes their brain and makes them act like different people. Your daddy used to be a good man who loved you very much. Maybe someday he can get the help he needs to be that person again. But right now he's dangerous. Right now he's making choices that could hurt people, including you. That's why you're staying with me and Aunt Eleanor, where you're safe. Madison nods solemnly. Mommy's sick too, isn't she? Yes. But Mommy is getting help. She's in a special hospital where doctors are teaching her how to live without using drugs. If she works very hard and follows all the rules, she might be healthy enough to take care of you again someday. Do you think she will? I hope so, Madison. Your mommy loves you very much, just like your daddy loves you. Sometimes people who love us still make mistakes that hurt us. That doesn't mean the love isn't real, but it does mean they need to fix their problems before they can take care of us properly. Madison sets down the watering can and comes to sit beside me on the garden bench. Grandma Grace, I'm scared. What are you scared of, sweetheart? What if Mommy doesn't get better? What if Daddy never stops being mean? What if something happens to you and I don't have anybody? I pull Madison into my arms and hold her tightly. Madison, I want you to listen very carefully. You will always have somebody. You will always have me. And if something ever happens to me, you will always have Aunt Eleanor and Uncle Frank. We are your family, and we will never, ever let anything bad happen to you. Promise. I promise. But as I hold my granddaughter in the garden that Robert and I planted together decades ago, I realize that Tyler's final act of desperation has accomplished something his months of manipulation could not. He has completely severed his relationship with Madison. Even if he gets treatment and serves his time and somehow rebuilds his life, Madison will always remember that her father tried to kidnap her in the middle of the night. Tyler has lost the thing he loved most, and this time, there may be no way to get it back. 6 months later, I receive a letter that surprises me. The return address shows Tyler's name and the federal correctional facility where he is serving his sentence while awaiting trial. I almost throw the letter away without reading it, but something makes me hesitate. Madison is at school, and the house is quiet, except for the sound of autumn leaves rustling outside Robert's study window. I pour myself a cup of tea and open Tyler's letter with careful hands. Dear Mom, it begins, and the handwriting looks different somehow. Smaller, more careful, less confident. I know you have every right to throw this letter away without reading it. I know I have said and done things that can never be taken back, but I am hoping you will give me a few minutes to tell you what I have learned about myself during these months in prison. First, I want to say that I am sorry. Not the kind of sorry that hopes for forgiveness or asks for second chances, but the kind of sorry that acknowledges how badly I hurt you and Madison and Amanda. I spat in your face and called you horrible names. I stole your money and tried to steal your freedom. I put you in danger by involving you with dangerous people you never chose to meet. I attempted to kidnap our daughter and hold her for ransom. I cannot explain these actions except to say that I became someone I do not recognize. The prison counselor has helped me understand that my gambling addiction was just the surface of deeper problems I have been avoiding since Dad died. I was angry that he left us. I was angry that you seemed to handle his death better than I did. I was angry that you still had purpose and direction, while I felt lost and useless. Instead of dealing with my grief and getting help for my addiction, I convinced myself that you owed me something. I convinced myself that your success was holding me back. I convinced myself that taking your money would solve my problems instead of addressing why I had problems in the first place. Mom, I want you to know that I remember the man I used to be. I remember coaching Madison's soccer team and teaching her to ride a bicycle. I remember working alongside you and Dad at the construction company and feeling proud to be part of something meaningful. I remember being grateful for everything you gave me instead of feeling entitled to everything you had. I do not expect you to forgive me. I do not expect to ever have a normal relationship with you or Madison again. But I want you to know that I am finally taking responsibility for what I did and who I became. I am attending Gamblers Anonymous meetings every day. I am working with a counselor to understand my anger and entitlement issues. I am learning skills that will help me support myself honestly when I am released, instead of looking for shortcuts or expecting other people to take care of me. I know Madison is doing well in your care. My lawyer told me she is getting good grades and making friends at her new school. Please tell her that I think about her every day and that I am proud of her for being brave enough to call the police when she was scared. She saved herself, and maybe she saved me too by showing me how far I had fallen. I do not know if Amanda will be successful in her recovery program, but I hope she is. Madison deserves at least one parent who can be present and healthy in her life. If Amanda cannot get clean, then I am grateful that Madison has you. Mom, you taught me to build things when I was young. You showed me how to measure twice and cut once, how to make sure the foundation is solid before adding anything else. I forgot those lessons in my adult life, but I am trying to remember them now. I am starting over with a solid foundation this time. Honesty, responsibility, gratitude, and respect for other people. I love you, Mom. I know I lost the right to say that when I spat in your face, but it is still true. Thank you for being strong enough to stop me before I hurt you or Madison even more than I already had. Your son, Tyler. I read the letter 3 times before setting it down on Robert's desk. Outside the window, I can see the garden where Madison and I planted new flowers last month. She chose bright yellow marigolds because she said they looked like sunshine. The letter feels different from Tyler's previous communications. There are no excuses, no attempts to shift blame, no requests for money or favors. It sounds like it was written by the son I thought I had lost forever. But I have been fooled by Tyler before. How do I know this is genuine remorse instead of another manipulation? How do I know he will not relapse into his old behaviors the moment he faces real stress again? I decide to call David Brennan for advice. Grace, David says after I read him Tyler's letter, I've seen a lot of these cases over the years. The letters that are written to manipulate sound different. They're full of explanations and justifications. They ask for specific things like money or reduced charges. Tyler's letter doesn't ask for anything except the chance to acknowledge what he did wrong. So you think it's genuine. I think it's a start. Real change takes years to prove, not months. But this letter suggests Tyler might be beginning to understand the scope of the damage he caused. David, I want to do something that might sound crazy. What's that? I want to set up a trust fund for Tyler's rehabilitation and education. David is quiet for a long moment. Grace, are you sure about that? Tyler stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from you and tried to have you committed. I am not doing this for Tyler. I am doing this for Madison. If her father can genuinely change and become a healthy person, she might have the chance to know him again someday. If he cannot change, then the money will revert to Madison's education fund. Either way, Madison benefits. What kind of conditions would you want to include? Tyler would have to complete a 5-year program addressing his gambling addiction, anger management, and financial responsibility. He would have to maintain steady employment and submit to random drug and alcohol testing. He would have to complete community service hours and attend family counseling sessions. And most importantly, he would have to earn Madison's trust through supervised visits where she feels completely safe and comfortable. And if he completes all of that, then we can discuss the possibility of him having a limited role in Madison's life again. Not custody, not unsupervised visits, but maybe the chance to be her father in some small way. David drafts the legal documents, and 2 weeks later, I drive to the federal facility to visit Tyler for the first time since his arrest. He looks older and thinner, but his eyes are clearer than they have been in years. Mom, he says when he sits down across from me at the visiting room table, I cannot believe you came. Tyler, I have a proposal for you. I explain the trust fund and the conditions attached to it. Tyler listens without interrupting, and when I finish, he sits quietly for several minutes. Mom, can I ask you something? Of course. Why are you willing to help me after everything I did to you? I think about Robert and the lessons he taught me about building solid foundations. I think about Madison and the kind of grandfather Robert would have been to her. I think about the man Tyler used to be and the man he might become again with proper support and accountability. Because I believe people can change if they truly want to. Tyler, because Madison deserves every possible chance to have a healthy relationship with her father. And because, despite everything that happened, you are still my son. Tyler starts crying, quiet tears that he wipes away quickly. Mom, I do not know if I can be the person you want me to be. I do not want you to be anyone except who you really are, Tyler. I want you to be honest and responsible and grateful for what you have instead of resentful about what you lack. I want you to be someone Madison can trust and respect. I want you to be someone you can be proud of when you look in the mirror. What if I fail? Then you fail, and we move forward from there. But Tyler, what if you succeed? As I drive home from the prison, I think about the long road ahead. Tyler faces years of hard work to rebuild his character and earn back even the smallest amount of trust. Amanda has successfully completed her first month of treatment, but has many more months ahead of her. Madison continues to heal from the trauma of having both parents fail her in such devastating ways. But for the first time since Robert died, I feel genuinely hopeful about the future. Not because I believe everything will be perfect, but because I believe everyone in our family now understands the cost of dishonesty and the value of doing the hard work required to build something lasting. That evening, Madison and I work together in the kitchen making dinner. She chatters about her day at school, telling me about the book she is reading and the science project she is planning. She seems lighter somehow, as if a burden has been lifted from her small shoulders. "Grandma Grace," she says while stirring the pasta sauce, "do you think Daddy will ever be able to come to my birthday parties again?" "I do not know, sweetheart. That will depend on whether Daddy learns to make better choices and whether you feel safe and comfortable around him. If he does get better, would it be okay if I wanted to see him sometimes?" "Madison, if your daddy proves that he is healthy and trustworthy, and if you want to have a relationship with him, then I will support that completely. But only if it is what you want, and only if you always feel safe." "Okay, I think I would like that. Someday, maybe." As we sit down to eat dinner together, I realize that Robert would be proud of how we have handled this crisis. We did not let anger or revenge guide our decisions. We protected the innocent, held the guilty accountable, and left room for redemption and healing. Madison reaches for my hand across the dinner table. "Grandma Grace." "Yes, sweetheart. Thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for letting me." Later that night, after Madison is asleep, I sit in Robert's study and write in the journal I have been keeping throughout this ordeal. Tomorrow will bring new challenges, and there will be setbacks and disappointments ahead. But tonight, I am at peace with the choices I have made. I protected my family. I stood up for myself, and I left the door open for forgiveness without compromising my boundaries or my granddaughter's safety. Most importantly, I learned that being strong sometimes means fighting back, and sometimes it means offering grace. And the wisdom lies in knowing which response fits which situation. If you have ever found yourself in a situation where someone you love has betrayed your trust, what did you learn about the balance between justice and mercy? Have you ever had to make difficult decisions to protect someone you care about from their own family members? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And please remember to like this story if it touched your heart. Subscribe for more real-life stories that matter, and share this with someone who might need to hear that it is possible to fight back against injustice while still keeping your heart open to hope. Thank you for listening to my story, and I wish you the wisdom to know when to stand firm and when to extend grace in your own life's most challenging moments.